Hiker Jay here. This week I'm going to be sharing a review of a face mask that I found on Outdoor Research type face mask. It's just part of life now. We need to wear a face mask to protect those we love and ourselves. So I've really struggled with finding a face mask. You may have too. I've made my own. I've used the store-boughts. I wear glasses so it fogs up. So I've found that these have been a really good option. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you it's a kit, so that's pretty nice. It's actually a shell and filters, so I'll go over all the build of it, then I'll go over how it actually fits and functions, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on it. And I have been wearing this for 3 weeks. So before we get started on any of this, big disclaimer, even Outdoor Research says on here on their website that this is not a medical, what do they put here? This face mask is not for medical use. So it is not something that's going to 100% protect you, and I want to say that right off the bat. But we do wear masks to reduce the potential for getting ourselves sick and others sick, and this is that type of mask. What I like about this is that it's a kit, is that it comes with the outdoor shell, plus also 3 filters that you can clean and wash out each day. As always, all the links to the products will be down in the description so you can check them out there. And if this is first to my channel, if you could hit subscribe, that would be awesome. Love it. So let's get into the build and the construction before we talk about the fit. OR really used good products. The outdoor shell, well, let's talk about the kit itself. It comes in this package right here. So you get the face mask, this bag, and then a bag of filters, 3 filters like this. And I've really only opened one, and I keep washing the same ones. They did an early run, and I picked up the black one real early, about 3 weeks ago. So I've been wearing this one a lot, but then they came out with the other colorways, and I've been going to the gray one lately, kind of blending in with the beard, you know. But anyways, so the build, let's start with the shell to begin with. Fully polyester. It is made in Vietnam, if that matters to people. It's a close weave, and I actually just wear this sometimes just like this when I'm just running in and out of a store real quick. If I'm going to be working in whatever, where I'm going to be wearing it a lot or being around a lot of people, I'll use the filter. But I like having one of these just hanging in my Jeep. I can grab it real quick, cover up, and go. Especially, man, it's been like 90 degrees where I live. So it's been really hot. So I like the idea that I can take the filters out. It has a wire all the way through here, and it's a flat wire. Now, that might not mean anything, but there's some of them that are round, and if you buy like just a store one, they're just a round metal piece in there, and they don't always lay real flat to your nose, especially if you're a glasses guy like me, which I'll talk about more with the fit and finish when we get to actually how it fits. So I like that it's really quite wide and flat, and quite long enough that it goes all the way down to here. So that's pretty great. And then going out, they have these elastic ears. I like that they're elastic, that they're not like a permanent hard cord. And then they have these cool little rubber adjustments back and forth. They work great. And once you find your spot, they're really comfortable. So, and they don't move. They stay right where they are. So you can tighten it up real tight or loosen it. But ultimately, when you're talking and stuff, it still has that bunge where it'll move, and then you can talk and people can hear you. And then the last thing I really want to talk about is the style. So it's got that kind of like bird beak style, I like to call it, but your mouth really comes to about like right there. So you have this much for breathing and talking. And I know some people like to wear it right up against it, but you'll see it's so much more comfortable to have a little bit of space in there to be able to talk, breathe, and do that type of stuff. So that's the shell. Now, the filters, they come, like I said, in a 3-pack like this. This one I've used quite a bit and washed quite a bit, so I kind of want to use this one to show you. Now, a little bit different than the actual polyester outside here. These are made with a Hi-Q product. You can read all about it, but it's really kind of a big deal about, you know, basically bacteria can't live on it, won't grow on it, and that type of stuff. Now, they say you can wash these many, many times, but after I think like 30 uses, you should replace it because it loses that antibacterial type of coating that they put on it. It's called HEIQ, so Hi-Q, I think they say it, but it's used on this stuff. So I washed them right away. They gave a little bit of an odor right off the bat, but once you wash them once, I didn't smell it at all. So, so that's pretty nice. So the filters are not that thick. Like obviously I can breathe through it, no problem, and talk, and it's really not too thick. So when you add the actual polyester on the outside, it's not bad at all. I've wore this mask right here with the filter in it for almost 12 hours in the hospital, and no problem. And I actually tried this one too at a different time. We were in there for like 4 hours, and I found it to be hotter, which was weird. So that's one thing that's big. Like if you make your own, they always say double layer and all that stuff. Man, when you double layer, it gets so hot and sweaty, and you may know that. So I made a couple of these, but I found that this one is so much cooler than anything I've made out of either just a bandana or some thicker weave there. And then I'd say it's pretty close to the same as like a store-bought mask. Certainly if you don't have the filter in it, it's really breathable. It's more breathable than this, but obviously you're not getting as much protection there with not having the filter in. So back to the filter, when you put them in, it has these two ears right here, and you want to look at it, and there's a flat side and a curved side. So flat side goes bottom, and then just kind of shove it into the pockets, work it in, fold it, and now you've got the filter set in. I don't find that the filter peeks out very much unless it really gets off-centered or something. If you're wearing it for a long time or maybe talking quite a bit, it would do it. But when you put it on, as you can see, you know, the filter doesn't peek out anywhere, and it's pretty comfortable. Now this is the part that I want to tell you. See how you can see a little bit of space here? Like if I close this off, like that's my mouth right there. I have a lot of space right there to speak clearly and not feel like I'm breathing in my own air all the time. So that's pretty nice. So as the build and fit goes, basically you get this kit, which I think is pretty great. You get 3 filters. You can buy more filters too and replace them at any time as well. Now let's talk about the actual, how they function, how they fit for you. I've been wearing this gray one a lot, and I always pinch at the nose when I put it on. Like I said, it has a really good, and it keeps coming down here. And I think that's why it helps so much with glasses, is that it doesn't just stop here. So let's go into the glasses, because I think the glasses are probably the biggest thing for anybody who wears glasses. Are they going to fog up when they're talking? Sorry about the glare on the camera. I realize my lights are really glary. That's why I never wear my glasses. But it's not fogging at all as I'm talking. I have been walking around a building and going back and forth at the hospital and different things, and they just don't fog up. Where when I wear this one, I think that the metal just doesn't go far enough to seal off to keep it from actually fogging up my glasses. So that's a big one for me. Because I wear glasses, it needs to not fog my glasses. Every once in a while I'll get it if I'm really moving around a lot, but it's nothing like just staying fogged. So works really well in that way. The earpieces, this is something else that people have trouble with because it gets really annoying or it hurts, but I find that this elastic is so soft and so smooth, and this button isn't it's rubber. It's not like a hard button or anything. And I haven't had any trouble. I mean, I've had this on for hours, and I haven't felt like that ear fatigue that people get. And it fits good with my glasses going over it too, because, you know, this bungee material is really small as well. What I really like about these is how adjustable they are, because my son's been taken to this one, and obviously he's smaller, so he can make it smaller and make it fit really well. So that works really well, and I don't find that it hurts my ear at all. He hasn't complained at all either. Staying put, that's another thing. Will it actually stay put? So I kind of kept this on to show you that I've had it on for a minute or so, been talking quite a bit, and it hasn't moved at all. If you really pinch your nose down and you get it to somewhat over your chin, like obviously if you wear it really high, like that, it's going to keep creeping up. Like you do need to pull it over your chin a little bit so that it's there and then it stays there and you can talk. I do presentations at work and stuff, so this is really important that I can wear a mask where I can speak and be heard and not have that kind of like muffled sound too, because it's right up against my mouth. So I like that it has that bit of a gap there and it's open. Some people may not like that, so you might not like that kind of like beak profile kind of thing. But I think it's important when you want to communicate to people, you want to breathe better and not feel like you're suffocating all the time. So final thoughts when it comes to the OR mask kit, I can totally recommend these. I think they're great. The fact that you get the filters, you can wear one that's a little bit thinner when it's really hot, but you have the filters. They're sprayed with that high Q material to keep the bacteria and the growth and stuff going on in there, even though you should wash your mask quite a bit so that doesn't happen. And they have this plastic kit, which I've never used. Honestly, I just leave these kind of hanging in my Jeep or wherever I use them. And in the sun, I kind of like to have them in the sun too, because they say the sun breaks down the virus as well too. So I can highly recommend these, and I think they're a good value for what they are, the price that they're at. Some people might be like, oh, that's kind of expensive, but getting the filters with it, the 3 filters and the well-built mask and how it fits so well, they just really thought this one out. So I can highly recommend that. So thanks again for watching today's video. If you could hit subscribe, that would be awesome. Till next time, just remember, life's a hike, so hike happy. Wear yourself a mask, protect yourself and those you love. Take care.